Good morning, Corey from Rockpile. Sunday morning. It's a beautiful day. So what I'm going to do today is finally got our sheets to clad the house with. Now we're just using Colorbond, corrugated profile. Going to get set up and put some sheets on. So all I'm doing here is just setting up scaffold frames, just as a bench to put the Colorbond sheets on. I'll give you a look at the flashings. I just kind of drew them up and got them bent from our local shop. So the idea is we wanted like I think you call it like a picture frame border effect on the perimeter of the Colorbond sheets. So you can see here, the sheet will sit against that, and then this lip here is about 30 mil. And then this end one is just a cap. That caps off the end of what we call the blade wall because it's on an angle. Just thought that'd be a bit funky. And then the same deal again. Goes back in 30, and then this section here we were going to do in fibre cement sheeting originally, but I think we're going to change it to Colorbond now. And then the bottom flashing, you can see the profile there. Right, so the sheet will come and sit on here, and this just gets screwed to the timber with little screws, which I'll show you in a sec. And then we come to the window. Wow, did these a while ago. So Colorbond, I just went 30 that way and 30 that way, just because it was easier. A little lip there to stop the water. So the sheets will sit over this and butt into that, and that will give us a nice finish. The sill is exactly the same. The 30 is the same, and this profile here is actually, you probably can't pick it up that well on the camera, but it's actually got about 10 millimeters of fall from the window to here. And that's approximately 120 millimeters there, say 4 to 5 inches roughly. You'll see what I did under here is I've allowed for the sheet to go up and hide in behind there. This is our stack of flashings that we have. The big ones on the left are to cap off the edge of the roof on the 3 sides. Don't know if I didn't actually say anything about the gutter, but I've designed a hidden gutter. So it's pressed up out of 1.2 mil galvanised sheet, about 130 wide, 250 deep. The house is 18 metres long, and I gave it the gutter 40 mil of fall. So our downpipe goes down this end, and then that goes into our tank. And we basically cap the top edge off with this flashing here, which is like a U shape. So when you're standing back looking at this wall here, the sheets will just run up. It'll cover all this timber, this wrap, and it will cover that silver part, like the actual gutter material. And it will finish about there, and then that little cap goes on top, and hopefully it should look pretty good. All right, let's go check out the screws and tools. Tools and screws. These are called type 17 screws. They're 25 mil long. They take a standard 5/16 hex head drive. Alright, a little rubber washer on there, neoprene washer, whatever it's called. So they do the majority of the holding of the sheet to the timber frame. And then we have these little ones here. These are quite sharp. So that's what the bigger ones are, and that's what the smaller ones are. Put them side by side so you can see the difference. So we use the smaller ones to hold the flashing in position, and the bigger ones to hold the sheet in position. Now I don't put too many of the smaller ones in because I only want the flashing pinned on with as few as possible, because the idea is that the bigger screws will actually go through the sheet and through the flashing into the wooden frame, so they will end up holding the flashing in position. Just have a drill, standard drill, and I use a 5mm drill bit, and I will pre-drill the holes in the sheets. Now I've only got 6 sheets here. What I will do is I just measure my timbers. 1 timber, 2, 3 and 4. Just measure to the centre of the timber, and I know that my sheet sits on top of that flashing, so measurements are easy enough to get. Then I grab the drill, I'll grab the tape and the pencil, and I'll mark these out. So we'll have 4 rows of screws essentially on this sheet. It's important to make sure that they all line up. So I've just got to give these a little tap with the hammer just to make them all line up, and I'll put a little clamp on just to hold them in position while I drill, because sometimes I have found that when I drill the sheets and I don't clamp them, sometimes they can start to move a little, and by the time you get down to the bottom of the stack, if you're drilling like a big stack, say 20 sheets at once, and you don't realise that they're moving, you could be, you know, half an inch out on the screws. And if you're trying to get that nice line, that nice screw line that looks schmick, it doesn't look very good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attempt to crawl under there and put this bottom bit of flashing on, and we'll go from there. So now we're just going to measure the centre of these timbers and just write it on the wall. Now I'm just going to tap these sheets better. I know my measurements are 25, 935, 1830, 2700. Now I'm putting these screws in the valley of the sheet because they're on the wall, so you can, if you rub against it or whatever, you won't hit the screw heads. Now I'm going to work out how far we're going to go across. Okay, so I know I want 1 screw there, and what did I do on the roof? Every second one I did on the roof, so we'll go 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and then that one, when this next sheet overlaps, this screw will end up going through there. So to work out every second one. So I'll just mark all these at 25. I've got a little clamp, and I'll clamp the top, because that'll get hidden by the flashing if it leaves a little dent or whatever. And like I said, that just stops the sheets from moving on over each other when you pre-drill them. But what I am going to do is double check the measurement, because if I pre-drill these and they're wrong, that won't be good. We should be good to go. It's also important too that you see we're making a lot of swarf here. Alright, now if that gets wet, even just the tiniest little bit, like the little tiny little fragment, not like bigger bits, but tiny little bits, if that gets wet, it'll leave a rust stain on your sheets. Not good. So don't use water to blow the swarf off. Get like a blower, like a little does that make sense? All in all, that looks pretty good. What I might do, but is just go and get like a 3mm packer and pack the sheet up off the bottom of the flashing. So there's a bit of a gap there. I don't want the sheet to rub against the flashing on the bottom. So I'm just going to cut one of these packers in half. Two. Basically just going to sit it on the flashing, and then I'll sit the sheet on top. And now we have a nice gap of approximately 3mm up off the flashing. And the packer fell off. There we go. Back again. Stay there. I'll just double check. And oh, the top could go a smidge that way, but not that much. So we won't worry about that. It's actually pretty good. So, I'll grab these packers out. And we'll leave that one there because that's going to get overlapped with the next sheet. And we'll put that one in there. So I'll go get the next sheet. So I don't know if you can see that, but the colour actually isn't sticking to the screw. It's coming off. Now they're supposed to be coloured screws to match the tin. Now if each one's gonna, here's another one that's happened. Look at that. The colour is just, it's not sticking to the screw. That's shit. Okay. Oh, I left the screw gun over there. Where those extra arms will come in handy. Might just change to the drill. Put the hex head bit in the drill, just so it's not that impact on the screw. Oh, paint just came off again. So the next sheet's going to be a cracker, isn't it? Got 4 pipes to come through, and I've got to disconnect this one. I just made those holes a little bit bigger because I want a bit of clearance around the copper. So I did get one sheet cut from here, that size, and one to fit on the top. Now just over there. So I just wanted to see what it was going to look like before I committed to ordering the rest. I'll tell you what, that's pretty bloody good. I did start back to front, but I had a reason for it. I don't know what it is yet. I'm sure it was a good one. Actually fits quite good, I must say. Alright, we'll get them screwed in. Hey, hippo. Hey, come here. Sit. Oh, good girl. Come on, say hi to the camera. Sit. Hey, sit. Hi. These are my helpers that are so good at helping. Hey, oh, Dozer's seen something, probably a leaf. Oh no, he's got his soccer ball. And he's off. I think we're actually looking pretty good. Next job, I'm going to drill 4 holes in the next sheet. That'll work. Let's get a screw in it. Now I need to remember the measurements for the hot water unit, which were 910 up, 170 and 200 were the noggins from the edge of this sheet. Fingers crossed that'll hit a noggin. Yes. So, a bit of copper's long enough, that's good. I like to just get a little scourer pad and just clean up the end of the copper that's going in the O-ring. Okay, so that's good. So I can take that off, and that goes on there. I've got to get the battery for the B-press. Okay, got the battery. Oh, lovely. While I was in the shed, I found a bit of a stainless steel wool. So that was actually quite nice to clean up the edge of the copper, so it looks nice. And then, have I lost my fitting already? No, here it is. So that just slides in there. Make sure you send it home all the way. But that's it before. And that's it after. See how it's it's crimped it up tight on there. So that should be good to go. Then we'll put that on. We'll screw that. I'm only doing it finger tight. 90-degree elbow there. So I want that one cut there. And I want this one cut there. So we'll just take this off. Put that in my trusty pocket. Got my mark. So I'm going off that pencil mark nearest to my thumb. And we just line up the cutter on that mark. Give it a little turn. As you turn it, I kind of turn the cutter around the pipe, and as I do a full revolution, I'll give this a little bit more, wind it in, and you can see it puts it's cutting a little groove in there. That will eventually cut it off, and then woohoo, flip out to the deburrer. Okay, I can go down there. That's probably a carton of beer, that offcut. And we'll give it a I've been careful not to let the burr go inside the pipe because it'll just end up in a tap. And of course what happened? It went inside the pipe. There we go. I got it. Okay. Now I'll just grab my trusty steel wool. We get the nut back. We've got the plastic washer here. That can go up to there. Like that. And where'd you put that elbow? Right, I'll put that on there. Okay, so now we've done the inside of the house out of Ozpex, so this copper goes through the wall into the laundry and then it converts into Ozpex, so that's why it's just hanging there like that, because it's only flexible on the other end. Look at that. Not going to move that today because that's just another job. But what I might do is bring the scaffold over and screw off the tops of those sheets and set a bit of flashing up there and just show you how that looks from up there. Hey, here we are. So we're up on I'm up on the scaffold, as you can see, up at on our roof, or next to our roof anyway. Going to screw off the tops of these sheets. So this is our roof. Pretty simple. You can see what I mean about when you pre-drill and mark out all your screws, no matter which way you look. Get down here. They all look, well, maybe that this way into the light a bit. They're all uniform, they all line up each way. So, pretty neat. I don't know how well this is going to work. Hang on. Just, I think we're pretty, not quite level there. Don't mind my buff head. So, we'll just get some screws in here first. So I haven't had that issue of the paint coming off since I've been using a drill. So I think it was just the impact vibration that was causing the paint to come off. but I'm still going to ring them. And let them know. So what we have here is little profile flashing that I've got bent. That sits on top of the gutter here. Just peel that plastic off. Now we've had these flashings for quite a while actually. They've been sitting out in the sun. Oh geez, that sun just popped out from behind a cloud. They've been sitting out in the sun. So secret is you got to have it covered up, otherwise the sun will deteriorate this plastic and you will be in for a pain of a time removing it. So cover it up, stop the sun from hitting it, and it'll peel off no problem. Don't know how it's going to look yet, but from where I'm looking now it looks pretty good. So there we go. So that's how that's made, just to cap that off. That'll get some, I'll probably actually silicone this to the top of the gutter here, and then maybe put some little pot rivets every, maybe 2 per sheet, so every say 400 mil. So anyway, so this gives you a better look at the gutter I got made. So you can see it down in there. It's about 200 deep. I'll fit my whole hand in there, see? Oh, trapped. So that runs full length right down to the end. And the idea we were going for was, so when you're standing on the ground looking up, it's kind of like that hidden detail. I'm just going to put a 2 temporary screws in this thing just to hold it on, because I don't have any silicone and it's getting late. It's probably like 4:30. It's been a full day. So I'll do that and I'll hop down and move the scaff and we'll have a little bit of a wrap up. Okay, so this is time to wrap it up. A few sheets on the wall, flashing up the top. All looks pretty neat. Pretty happy with it. This worked out well. Picture framing flashings around the window as I described earlier in the bit. And we come down the bottom and you can see where I've left that 3mm gap off that bottom flashing. I think that just looks a lot neater rather than sitting hard on it. Oh, and if you're wondering about the blue board on this end of the house, well, that's actually going to get cladded in stone, whether it's real stone or fake stone, I don't know yet at this stage. So it looks like so it looks like the house is sitting on like a stone foundation coming up out of the ground. That's the idea. And that's it. So I'm going to pack all these tools away because we've got some dark clouds coming over there. And Chief is here. Hey, sit. Sit. So well behaved. Sit. Hey, sit. Okay. They're so well behaved. Alright. If you like what you see, subscribe, like and share. Be much appreciated. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one.